Oh, good evening, everybody.
Good evening,
Our dear
ma'am.
consultants, yeah, thank you for accepting to join us this evening, and thank you for, believing in us and accepting to work with us. It's been a journey for almost 2 years now, and most of you have been with us from the beginning up until this time, and we don't take it for granted, even though it is just for the good of us. I mean, your own good, and also for our own good, and ultimately the good of our state. Please, if you're Adeze Ashaheme, you can mute yourself, please. So if you're not talking, you can mute yourself, please. So at this point, this is the office of the Chief Economic Advisor, trying to add more value in addition to the much we have been doing. At this session, we have the Chief Economic Advisor himself, Professor Kenneth Amechi, in attendance. Thank you, Prof, for joining us. And my colleagues, Adeze Waka and Adeza Shaheme, and myself, Mrs. Jobita Agu. So we're here to, rub minds about on this our Okobi consulting. So we have been on it. We have a platform for the consultants, but we haven't quite taken off. We've been going back and forth, trying to work on different areas and all that to see how best we can fine tune things and get started. But now I believe is the time to start. And I have spoken with like everybody here. I mean, all the consultants. I've spoken with you all privately and discussed the proposal of the office. And the idea is for us to reach out to the communities. I know Okobi businesses are group-owned businesses, but in this instance, we're reaching out to communities. We do not have a lot of communities who are doing business with us, who are, doing Okobi businesses. So we have spoken to a number of them. A lot of them are food dragging. They're saying yes, but their actions are not saying yes. So we need to go right into the communities and make sure that they accept and embrace Okobi, because Okobi has become a movement. So right now we need to talk to them. We need to reach out to them. We need to go to the communities and make sure that, they have businesses running as community businesses. So it's not only the churches who are doing their businesses as churches. It's not just for a group or maybe a kindred coming together to set up the business, but we want the communities as a whole to start a business or businesses as it were. So actually a community can say we want to have 2, 3, 4, or how many businesses. And that is what we're looking at this time. And most of you have shown capacity, demonstrated commitment, and that is why we think you are the best people to go with on this journey. So now we want us to brainstorm, think of how we can approach this initiative, this idea, this plan, and the office is going to pay for it. So we thank our sponsors, we thank companies and organizations who have, been magnanimous to support us, who have believed in us at least up until this moment to let us, still make this stride as it were right now. So that is why we are here this evening, to make sure that we reach out to the various communities within the state. And we are proposing anybody reaching out to any community. Maybe Choma Perpetual, for instance, is in Owerri zone, let's say Owerri municipal, but she can actually, target a community in Uguta, target a community in Izombe or anywhere at all, and then run with that community. And the office will pay each consultant per community. So the payment will be, each consultant will be paid for each community business that is developed. So that is basically why we're here at this moment. So, Prof, maybe you have one or two things to say before we can probably think of how to fine tune it and the processes we will undergo before we can take questions from our consultants. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jovita. And welcome everyone to the meeting. As much as we want to support the communities, we also thought that this would be a good opportunity to support the consultants. I don't know how many of you were a client. So if you're a consultant, business development is one thing you do. You go out there, attract business and consult, right? So, but we also recognize that given where Okobi is now, given the community ndị ga-aga gwa ha sị ha kwụọ ụgwọ ha echewe na ibe ime ha 419. So that's why we are saying you go out there, get a client, we pay for the client. So that's another way of thinking of it. So yes, you're helping the community, but we are also helping you create your own pipeline. Let's assume you're able to consult for three communities, 4 communities, 5 communities. They become your clients maybe for life. So you will always be there to support them. So don't see this as a one-off. Don't see this as a favor you're doing to the office, but see it as a business opportunity we are encouraging you to go into. And who knows, some of you may go through this process and you think it's worthwhile creating your own Okobi consultancy. Because you need to walk the talk. So if you're not a group-owned business yourself and you're going out there to tell people how to do group ownership, so you may not necessarily understand it that much. But if you've gone through the process, you can also use your own personal experiences to guide your clients. But that's just by the way. You don't necessarily need to create one. But what I'm trying to emphasize is that as much as you are helping us, we are also helping you to develop a market for Okobi Consulting and to create pipelines for you. So, but think more beyond what we are doing now. We are just facilitators, and whatever you receive from this is to help you open doors. So, as Jovita mentioned, we are not looking at 4 or 5 people coming together to do business, which is Okobi. But here, there are about 655 communities in Imo State. Imagine a situation whereby every community, autonomous community, has a business. So that means we have 655 businesses in Imo State. And if each of them employs, like, say, 10 people, that's already 6,000. If they employ 100, that's about 60,000, isn't it? Yeah, 60,000 plus, which is far more than what the state government currently employs. So that's the thinking behind here. And if you've not had the chance to learn about the Okobi way, we'll be there to help you. So stage by stage, God will give you a framework. If you want to start an Okobi business, how you can go about it. So we can give you resources. So maybe that's one thing the office will put together for you consultants, where you can always go and get materials, more like a learning hub. So Jovita, bear that in mind. Then when some slides we can share, put there, maybe the steps for Okobi, the handbook that was published recently, and maybe some other materials. There's a senior, so please take that into consideration. So I don't know if I've created a good context for what we're trying to do. Jovita, back to you.
Okay, so yeah, so I hope we understood what Prof is trying to put us through at this point to just give a background of what we try to do. So we're going to share the Okobi handbook after the conversation. So we'll make it available so you can take time to go through, steps of setting up Okobi businesses. And because I know a good number of us are, at least have a fair understanding of Okobi and how it works. But for we're going to also share the handbook so you can go through. I'm not sure that's basically what we're here to put us through. But we also want you to think of how to reach out to the communities, how to find out from them their needs and all that. So we know that some of you have been engaging with some people at different levels, communities, maybe kindreds and all that. But for us at this time is just to reach out to the communities. So I'd like to find out if you already have people you're talking to or people you already have been engaged with one way or the other. So Ilota Gishi go further from the immediate conversation now to identifying opportunities within the communities. How do you think we can be of help? In what ways will you engage them? How do we start the conversation with these communities and take it from introduction, selling Okobi to them, to the point of developing a business plan and making them bankable in the sense that just let them have their businesses registered when possibly an account, when business proposal and all that, so that they can now from that point meet their people, like particular communities say, okay, lekwa, before gị gakwuru ndị ụlọ unu say lekwa anyị chọrọ ime ihe dị ụta, ọ na-adị mma ka eme needs assessment, say lee udoro ihe unu megele ihe unu chọrọ ime, ha agwa unu si ihe dị ụta ka anyị chọrọ ime. So unu no probably ha dey sure makwana if no nwere ike decide na a particular business ka ha chọrọ focus on. But by the time you discuss the details of that business, you may find out that it's not even going to be the best fit for them. So you can now advise them, see, based on 1, 2, 3, your environment, what you're known for, or what we think the people involved in the community they are more suitable for. We may have advice, and that way we can say, yes, this is what we advise you to go into for 1, 2, 3 reasons. In with among themselves, how they quite convinced that this is what they can do. And then Abia register the business, all no corporate affairs registration. Hey me, cooperative registration. Hey me, then do business plan with them. And then by the time they are ready, they can now identify and approach their people within their community. Every community nwere ihe ọganihu na-adị mma, from their community leaders, their PGs, the traditional rulers. Then they can identify their people. Anya Mena 1, 2, 3. This is where we are right now, and we need help to start this kind of business. Then that way, when you abịakwutere gas, yes, where here dịkwa mma ọ dị mkpa na anyị ahụla na unu nọ na nkwadobe na unu emene your own assignment. So that is the area that we intend to pay for, that initial service that you people are going to engage the communities in. So you make that one. Then I guess the rest of the processes, they may have to pay for them. But for now, yeah, we don't know this much. I mean, to get them started to, kickstart all the areas where, our consultants will have to, come in. And that is where we'll have to pay for, so that ka ha marakwa ndata nwere ihe dị ụta. So ndị agakwukwara na ndị asịlekwa ihe a ka anyị chọrọ ime, you now see that they will listen. And then from there, the movement or the process will be faster and easier, you know. So that is what it is. So when anybody want any suggestion, any question, or anything else to add to this, then we can just take it up and then, you know, move on. The floor is open, please. I hope no quite him na-ekwu.
Yes, I can hear you.
And then what I'm saying, does it make sense? Is it sinking in? Do you understand that we are on the same page?
We are, I'm sure.
Okay, so can I get one or two responses, feedbacks, or contributions, so that we don't intend to be here for too long, though. So,
all right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes. Okay. Engineer Victor.
Yeah. Want to thank you so much and thank Prof. For this initiative. Honestly, if people understand this initiative in Imo State, all this thing we are talking about, food insecurity, will be a walkover. I must thank Prof, because I'm not saying it for saying sake. It's a very good, welcome development. The plan, the creativity, the idea, the technicality behind the project is such that if well handled, Imo State will experience boom in food security. I want to thank you so much, Prof, and also thank everyone that is here. Now, on my own contribution to what you have done, people, when you come to business, is one thing for someone to have the passion to do business as an individual. Is another thing for a community to bring a community together to do a business. Let me just take it this way. Some people have encountered with, like a program I held at Ogwai at Mbano. They have good people there that can actually help them establish businesses. But they find out that most of them will use politics, maybe when they enter into the leaders and helping them to establish these businesses, it will go the other way around. I would suggest, if we need to carry this thing out and have good results, I would suggest, number one, if there will be a kind of a stakeholders meeting, like Prof said, we have 655 communities. If there will be a platform whereby maybe if it is the local government or the PGs, if there could be a meeting or interaction with them to tell them about this vision. I know some of them has been heard, but they don't really understand. If there will be a platform to communicate this vision and write to them, that's number one. Thereafter, then we carry on, maybe draw a plan on how we can penetrate villages to undergo sensitization program like the one as I have seen. I think we have done before. There's some of the picture or the clips I saw whereby we go to communities, we're sensitizing them. Because we need to actually communicate to them to see the reasons why they should come together to do a business. Like I started saying, it's one thing for an individual to have passion towards doing, because most of them, once you bring up this idea of come, let's do business, the first thing their mind will go to, government is coming to support us, to do this for us, to do this for us. And when they are not seeing that, the zeal and the interest will go off. So we need to sensitize them to understand the need, why they need to start a business, and how we are going to support them to do a business. And by then, those that have interest, is not all the community, is not everyone. There are people, even if there are 10 persons in a community, that will say, okay, we want to do cassava processing. We cannot begin to work on that, but we need to work in hand in glove with the leadership of those communities. I'll hold on for now. Thank you so much.
Okay, Engineer Ndeo. Thank
sir.
you for the kind words. Okay. I'm going to approach I think I actually use here. You know, Okobi, so far, we are focused on individual groups. So, Onyedeka Comrade Abagwa Kingsley now has helped a few groups in different communities. But here, I actually focus on at the autonomous level, autonomous community level. So that means that we need the buy-in of the leadership of the community. So you're not going there to speak to everyone. Let's assume now we access to Eze, my Eze Obodo, my own autonomous community. I can sell this idea to the Eze. The Eze Abo cabinet, yeah. Anyị na ha agbawa ajụwa about the business anyị nwere ike ime as a community. And this business we can say, okay, anyị ga-eme poultry business. Avutu poultry, Imo State nwe Avutu poultry before ya enweghị onwere. Even Achara Ugbo State nwere companies. Enweghị egbochi, local government can have companies. So why can't villages or autonomous communities have businesses? Yes, not all of them might be ready now. And the can use the approach Bible kwuru. Onye gara agwawa ya anaghị ekwe, gaa kụchie ụkwụ gị lawa. It's not a must. So out of the 655, I'm not sure we'll cover all of them. It will be a fraction. And you with 100 there, with a 20, with a 50, it's better than nothing. Let us not just think now, okay, I'm you know, so not every when they will laggards, when they will something, early adopters. Here I hear will make when they get pony, when they get ponies. When you be the roco, when they don't know, actually, when they take the initial step. You know, take for example the grant last time. Now you make another grant. I'm going to convince and that's the nature of human beings. But I know somebody a jog. So we can't just because of those ones, saying again. So you can make a sensitization makes sense, but given the resources we have, we also need to be lean. Actually, make sensitization and GMA consulting and learn consultation. So that's why we want to leverage on your own network. You can even start from Ezebekuno. I don't know how many autonomous communities who know now because many autonomous communities have been split into other autonomous communities. Now, my own place, we used to be one, but time was a three now. So if I have access to the Ezenda, I can use my local network. Mahaga interested. Maybe one of the autonomous communities, Ebido Kowakoka, the message starts spreading. The other community are say, oh, and when they know that it's when we will pay for your time. So it's not as if Gina Hego or anything. So that's the approach Hanchoka can use. That's why we are talking to you people. And like I said, it's about helping you. Because ordinarily, okay, Okobi were a good idea. And if it's adopted, Imo State will be better off for it. So, as a consultant, how can I key into this movement? Like somebody like Kingsley Abagwa, like I keep going back to him. And maybe, I don't know, my father, Father Pius. One day, I know, he can create consulting opportunities, or to a chairman, or maybe James. Do you understand? So, yeah, all we want to do is to help you increase your clientele base. So, commission, if you've seen this opportunity, you pursue it. And office, then when the community is not buying, it's not handing the help, but we can't support all of them. Last Saturday, when they will do Maka, we had an extensive meeting with them. Well, we can help you. The other thing we also want to do, like today, advert consultants, I get put advert out to say communities in there ready, come to us. I'm with a consultant. So that's one way we can support you. So you use your personal network to see how far you can go. But we also have a list of communities that are waiting for us to help them. Okay, what
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
so,
sir. I get
so animal like that, yeah, this year because you want sensitization if you know,
sorry, sir. when I say sensitization, if you listen me very, very well, I still focused my sensitization based on the stakeholders, the leadership of the community. And it's not like gathering the entire community. It's still like what we are saying.
Sensitization, and let's assume na na-akpọ ndị eze na ọha na eze ka ebe ọgbakọ ha nwere ebe a nwere hall na Owerri. Iji host ahụ dị ame this sensitization, ime ego ụlọ ọgwụ nke cost anyị.
No, sir, that's not even the area I'm saying, Prof.
We are on
the same page. The sensitization or creating awareness is still meeting them and telling them about what Okobi is all about. You have already said it, and I think
consultants get meet, right?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
And that will be empowered through the office. Maybe, as a person.
How do we empower that through the office? How?
Now, we'll have something like a written letter of introduction. If you want to go to any community, okay, I am so this, I'm from this. Okay, fine.
Anyị ga-enye gị ya, anyị ga-enye unu ihe dị otu ahụ. Unu gakwa anụ, gacha lọta. Egwere ihe ndị eze ga-assign is na ha dị willing to participate. Unu nyezi anyị. So it's a two-way thing. We give you letter na anyị mega ihe dị otu a. Onye a wụ consultant anyị, gere unu ya ntị. Akwa that kind of letter.
Yes, sir.
Unu eji letter ga ruo na ka onye eze, kwuchakwana with onye eze. Na ndị otu ya sị ngwa bịaghachi echi makpọ kabinet gị na ha ekwugide kabinet ha ekwe si na ha chọrọ ime ihe a anyị ga-enye ijikwa leta something the onye eze na ndị kabinet ya ga-asign ga-ewetakwara anyị back si enwetala m this community ekwela ha. Do you understand?
Exactly.
So here that won't be a problem because gide gwa m onye eze na unu chi asụkwa na ịkwa na onye inwere ihe ga-akọwara ya ebe ishi. So ya wụrụ ọhịa ka ime by sensitization enweghị m nsogbu with it. Ịghọtara?
All right, sir.
So,
okay, my own, good evening, everybody. My own, I watch about the kind of contribution. My name is Comrade Kingsley Abagwa Ogedrihenine. Let me thank the founders and management of Okobi for so many things they are doing to alleviate poverty and provide job, importantly, to create job. Many of us who key in with passion have also gotten exposed. That's what we call exposure, business exposure, following the series of Okobi everywhere, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's on radio, and whether. So you discover what they say that we learn every day. So most of the ideas shared in Okobi programs have also developed our personal skills and corporate skills as well. So I want to thank Prof and his team for that. Okobi has actually gone beyond Imo State, and other states are kicking high to kick into Okobi. Well, I've been in the field for some time, and there are some experiences too. Approach matters. When you talk about sensitization, it depends on how you want to sensitize. Probably like a marketer in the field as a banker, there are 1 million banks. So you know how you approach your customers at Ekonoma, Alaba, or Do. The government sale is there. Okobi, the name is the government sale. So if you're talking about Okobi anywhere, they know that you are coming from the government. And this also, they know that they are coming from this Okobi management. The thing is that most of our people are skeptical because of some past experiences, not maybe in Imo State, but usually bogus campaign promises that government used to make. They will do this, they will do that. So by the time they come into government, they don't usually see this. It affects their SIAC and their reasoning. So if we gather together and call them, they will say, so it affects how they react to what? As God may have it, this Okobi Abia will take away grants, which is also a proof to what they mean, and also promising to do more depending on the availability of cash. The challenge we have here is this. Even when you finish this program and people are very much ready, how do they get funds? Because the job description here did not ask anybody to go and think of how to raise funds for the communities. And the community will certainly state that since you have told us we don't have this money and we want to start this. And if you don't have anything to begin and they are left, you see, the effort we intend to achieve may have actually gone bad. We now move to another community. This has been troubling me, and I would want this to be addressed. I know that grants are there. Well, so not all communities, we are assuming if you have 1 million, 100 million grants, it is not being shared by community. There are also process of getting grants. But assuming we conquer all these communities and they're very willing to do business, and there is no strategic idea on how to even start them, assuming they say, okay, we are ready, we do not have this capital to start, how do we assist them? That's number one. Number two, yes, we have heard from the technical advisor and you too, that you are going to support us. What are you supporting us with? The consideration is not categorical. And what is the yardstick? You have said one, getting back feedback from the AZs and said. So it's not all about going to the community and people must be assessed and say, yes, you have merited this. We have seen what you have done before the person could even get the support. So let me stop so far while I still meditate for other contributions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Imela, Kingsley, Imela, thank you for this feedback. From, your place to every community, Hanabata, so Ibiala KK, there will always be that, idea of people watching from a distance, say, and people have always complained about the government, but if we understand how the Sokobi works well, even when they say things like that, you should be able to dissuade them. See how the be with the business. Of business. So these are the little things. When they bring them up, we should be able to address them appropriately. We're not asking them we're not telling them we are coming to set up business for them. We're only telling them, see, you can do this for yourselves. We're just showing them the way. We're just pointing them to the direction where they can get, resources for this. Then Utah Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, and and even the commercial banks that we've been talking to, all just this for in the first place, from among yourselves, think of what you can do. From what you can do as a people, then you also have other opportunities to raise funds and all that. We are not, even the grants we're given, it's like a drop in the ocean. We have a lot of Okobi businesses. There's no way the grants can be enough. That is why we're making it into a competitive grant where people should tell us what they want to do with the money before they can earn it. It can never be enough. I'm not saying if their grants are available, we will not be able to, extend it to the communities, but that's not the main focus. The main focus is for them to think of what they can do for themselves. So when you hear government say, government which are government soon na government side so once we're talking to them, we ought to know the right way to direct them when they come up with all of these things. Even some people that may not have understood or that may not understand the process. I gotta say, this is what we're proposing for you to do for yourselves. Okay, so one thing, the very key for us to have at the back of our mind. And once they realize that the just kaha from just jakaha small ubogoro share something like that. So how but we're only directing them. So that's one very important area we want us to have at the back of our mind. So when these kind of comments start coming, because everybody gonna but for guys hey, hand on a party no politics it is not. I remember the time I actually made the first summit, because it was coming towards the election period, we suspended it so that Kandemadi reach election campaign more. So, I mean, you guys have interacted with us in our office. Nobody in our office is a politician. So, Prof, no way, politician also. We're just here working for the good of the state, and the work he's doing is on pro bono. So we know here can say IG mega politics more again. So all of these things we need to understand. So when some of these issues or this conversation go in this direction, no now but but it's not everybody that will accept it for sure. But we need to know the right things and send the right messages for them to understand what we're saying and where we're coming from. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, Jovita, before Chida, but yeah, I think you said very, because there is a tendency to politicize in here. Before you know, say APC, PDP, Hope Uzodema, all those kind of talks, right? So Hope will get teacher very soon. Yeah, for one. But when he leaves, he doesn't take the businesses away. Or you can make it. Or when I'm business na my village, it's Hope for Yanam business. So, and people should not think that they're doing this thing for the governor or for the APC party or for the chief economic advisor. Let me get a human way. No, not my own kindred. My own kindred and I own could be business. My autonomous community, I'm working hard to see if they can also create or we can create a business. So when the governor got handed anyway. So when you tell the people, it's just that a party member, please suspend that party identity. Structure. When they're politician here, I don't know, mega. So because I work at politics now here, may just follow it professionally and do your work. I can defend my APC or defend my hopes or them or defend the owner. It's not what you have asked to do through this work. You have to get mail. You know, the manaka, and then about Runo, haka. This one, we move on. So out of the 665, if we're able to touch up to 100 of them, that's fine. So it's like 1 out of 6, which is competitive. So I'm going to go 50. So bad. But let it be that at the end of this exercise, I say I'm when 20, 30, 40 autonomous communities no more stating when a business. You know. So James, you wanted to come in. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof, for this opportunity. I want to start by saying thank you for the Okobi initiative. It has been so impactful. I want to thank Jovita for all the effort and the entire team. Now, I want to say it's also a privilege to be in this meeting of the other consultants. This is actually my first time of being here. And I'm so confident that this project is achievable. Going by the experience I and our cooperative have had, it's also important to say we are among the winners of the just concluded grant. I think that's enough testimony to launch us into these communities to say, yes, this is actually real. And I also believe in having followed this team, Prof, and this team. They are very meticulous and well structured. So I believe before we launch out, there will be some forms of training that will help us to understand the project scope better, the approach, the methodologies, the community engagement and participations, and then evaluations and impacts. Now, we will need such detailed training so that we will be guided. And finally, I want to say, okay, see, we'll get the Okobi handbook. It will give us more information. And then I want to highlight on the timing. Usually, communities have some periods of the year when they converge together. August is one of them, and then I think December. So it's also good we structure the engagement timing so that before the August, December time, would have passed through the various stages of the consultation process. Maybe using a stage possibly to enlighten the larger community, so it can synchronize and align with some of these festive periods. So once again, I want to say thank you, and this is something I'm going to commit and give my best to. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Can I talk? Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening. You can.
All right. Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank you, sir, especially for this opportunity and your office. All right, straight to the point. From the meeting, I was able to deduce that what is needed is one, we go to autonomous communities. I have both contribution and questions. Okay. One, we go to autonomous communities. Two, we inspire them into choosing a business that is most befitting for them. Thirdly, we hold their hand to preparing up to the point of preparing a business plan and also exposing opportunities for funding, okay, for them, which could be from their personal, it could also be other sources. All right. I see that this movement is okay. Is it just limited? The first question, is this movement just limited to autonomous community level? Can it also be extended to groups? Does it mean that we'll only be working with the AZEs of the community? Secondly, second question is, are we to identify these communities ourselves, or will the office assign this community to us? Concerning inspiring them into a business, I want to make a suggestion that we may look into. I once belonged to a network company, and from time to time, we go to different groups and yes, communities to talk to them about our products. And usually when we go, we have a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation already designed, like a customized presentation. And usually at the end of the presentation, we see a lot of positive responses. Okay, so I want to suggest that if possible, we can make something like that, a kind of customized presentation that will be well detailed, especially in the area of letting people know that this is not just about government. No, it's about them doing something for themselves. Okay, and when I look at that video that was shared on the platform yesterday, I see a very vivid picture of what Okobi really is, and it's as simple as that. Okay, so in that presentation we can adopt videos like that, and we can also put things, put up write-ups that would make them know that this is for them, and at the end of the day, the call to action will be such that they will all be willing to do something for themselves. They will know that, look, we have our destiny in our hands, and only us can actually, make the decision too. And that is the goal, I believe, we want to achieve. So if we can make a customized stuff like that, that will be fine. Okay, so this is my questions and these are my contributions. Thank you very much.
Okay. So Ajugi make sense. So I would say, one, we are focusing on autonomous community, our whole group. Like we know now we're almost 411 or so Okobi businesses. So if we wanted more, Anyaga had groups in that because we already have enough, we can start working with them, right? And then in those I promote again, we are getting groups join us. So that's why we have not had any autonomous community on a business. So we want to use this intervention. That's why it is an intervention, to see if we can stimulate autonomous communities or encourage them to. So that you the examples of autonomous communities in businesses, it will also help others we may not be able to support now. So that's one. Then the other question is, you see, yes, you go use your network and reach out to these communities. Man, they reach out to us. And as I said earlier, we also advertise. So in that let's assume that somebody is na from Egbema, Bia. We can share with you people. Maybe you can one network there or the logistics to get to Egbema. So you rather select 3-4 communities really accessible to you. So when those people come to us, we maybe create a WhatsApp group where we drop and say, this autonomous community need here. So first confess that we will actually where they were and move on. Okay, so then in terms of Inyere Haka and the other bits, yes, also or email, but you also need to work in a very efficient manner. Let's assume there 3 clients, not far from each other. A trip we get there can on a day cover them, or in a day cover them, right? So that way, guys, when I did efficient, but I will leave that to you guys to sort out how you want to do that. But at least Jovita will not anywhere. They can fixed. The other thing to mention, Una, we don't want these communities to pay anything for now. So I've been discussing with Jude Nzako to see, that's Professor Jude Nzako on ISIPA, to see if we can get, say, Corporate Affairs Commission to maybe partner with us nowadays so that communities is ready. If possible, they can waive the cost of business registration for them, because we want this thing to come to them completely free of charge. So, but we are maybe if corporate affairs actually waive, maybe if it is a subsidized one, we also think of how the office can pay for it. So these are options. But Onukuno, one, just see it as we are helping you build a client or clientele base. Don't just see it because once you begin to see it that way, you lose that entrepreneurial opportunity. Because at the end of the day, these communities should have ordinarily been your clients. We're gonna prospect and then again. But now we are de-risking it for you. So you start that conversation with them. The manual equal the good, but I also come from this view that Chomani pastor, sometimes the Bible not there, but the Bible, you read the same passage in inspiration, another person go up and one different inspiration. One thing I've noticed now this Okobi journey owner, it is I think good to be very prescriptive. So as a good consultant, you pay attention to your clients, and then you remain flexible. And when I came on Kingsley not long ago, so the people rooted there, instead of them having one business or no what I focus on, they chose to have individual businesses, but then collaborating at the cooperative level, which we never thought of initially. Okay, design again. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, let us not constrain our imagination by being overly prescriptive. We are in the office to support. If you go out there and meet something you're not familiar with, we'll be there with you. Just discuss with us. You can say, I'm discussing with this community. These are the things they are thinking of. What do you think we can do? We brainstorm. You have to go there back and forth until we find something that is suitable for them. Makasi nkunu namba na-eghere mba nri. And when obodo ga na say all of them should do one business, they look at it and say, no, it doesn't work like that in our place. Or even ebe ga site the business, we can work problem. And we can work obodo nwere ama asa. I say we want to build a poultry farm. So ndị onye ọbụla sị ka ekwe ebe a ga-arụ ya. Before in the thing that cause a problem. But we can also look at it and say, no problem. I'm all like actually and let us converge at the community level. So that every AMA knows there are already a subsidiary of the major one. Okay, hold on. So that way, yeah, they're quite democratic and inclusive. So, but we can't tell you that go there, just set up only one business. Just go listen to them, understand their needs, identify possible opportunities that will help them make money, create jobs. Remember, the key thing here is about job creation. But you need something that will be able to sustain the jobs. It's not just creating jobs for the sake of it. Those jobs need to be sustained by economic activities. So when you guys know how to create 100 jobs, getting a business that can only sustain 10 jobs, there's no point. It doesn't work. Or somebody's not how to create 10 jobs, getting a business that can create 100 jobs. Maybe they will start with 10 and eventually they expand to 100. Okay, with that. So it has to work for profit. It also has to work for jobs. So as some people in strategy say, it's having dual purpose. So it's not just only money making. It's also not about job creation. It's both coming together, and it's difficult. But that's where innovation and creativity comes in. And we trust that as consultants, you'll be able to solve that puzzle. So, Chom, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so let me quickly add there when you say a joint or communal manner. Okwamba na-achị n'olu n'olu. Anyị ma that we are all pursuing the same goal. O nwere ọdịka ihe ndị bụlụ nọ na-amata ga-eji o nwere style ị nwere ike eji gwa ha okwu ha anụ ya. Mekpotu m ga-esi gwa ha okwu ha anụ ya. Even o nwere isi ahịa m mụrụ na ọ bụda ahịa ahụ mkpụrụ onye eze ya kpa aka ekpe. Onye ọbụla anọ nwekwe ndị OP iji onye na-egere ha ntị. Onye ọbụla anọ so ọ ga-enyekwa anyị stọdị ịmata ke na-adabara ndị ọ na-adabara. For me, onye ọbụla ga-esigodo ebe ọ mara na ọrụ ihe kọmuniti ha na ya arịgodo bidozie magawa ndị ọzọ. Onye m chere na onwe kem ebe ahụ.
Thank you, Kingsley. Father Chirikuka, I think there was a time you muted it. Okay, Jovita, over to you.
Okay, Adeze actually wanted to say something. So Adeze,
Okay.
would you still want to make a contribution?
Oh, yes.
Adeze,
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. And thank you all for joining us this evening. I just wanted to touch base a bit in the area of funding that that Comrade Abagwa mentioned. So I just want to chip in that the goal is to inspire and prepare these communities to the extent that the options of funding does not really become a problem, because I know that in this idea of Okobi, money has never been the problem for anybody or any group that wants to set up an Okobi business. So if they can understand the initiative very well, understand what they want to do, identify the solution they want to provide, which will become the business they want to engage in, I'm sure that different funding options will not be a problem. So in that discussion, you will realize that they will either go into match funding or contribution, maybe merging of skills, resources, and whatever they have, or they can also talk to the elites in their communities, because you're assessing these communities will definitely be through somebody, either a gatekeeper, either the AZE, either a PG or somebody. So in the course of this discussion, or by the time you have successfully convinced and trained them to the point where they are so inspired and passionate about having it, you realize that they will be the ones giving you the options of how they can fund it. So the most important thing is to make them understand what this business is about and make them understand how it benefits their communities. That's the area I wanted to chip in. Then Prof also very much so addressed what Mrs. Choma asked about. So we are going to publicize the idea of communities that are interested in Okobi, interested in hand-holding, and it's going to be in such a way that they will understand that the engagement of the consultants will be free for them. So hoping that people will also indicate interest, which can be signposted to any of the consultants that are interested in the locations that those communities will be. And in addition, it will also be nice for the consultants themselves to also look out for their own communities that they feel they can work with. That one will help them more because they are the ones finding these communities. They know how they can find them and their access to the communities. So that way, it will be easier for them to penetrate and maybe get the job done. These are the few points I just want to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ada. And yeah, you actually have thrown more light into the conversation, email or all. So I don't know if anybody else has any contribution to make. Father, you're here, and okay, James
I think I want
has
to question
contributed.
on your suggestion, Chidi Mere, yes, James. He was saying timing. So we want to start ASAP. We can start tomorrow actually. So that is geared towards also this August meeting in Ebuke. Maybe before then, many communities in Chaniku and when a faint idea of what they want to do, and they can start talking to their people from there. So, but these days now, technology can do a lot of things. We don't need to be even though say, I can't be but I don't need to be there. Why you make a meeting now? So we also need to leverage technology to reach our people. Then I have a meeting the other day in Dumaka. I know how America, different states, not America. And anyone know why not different parts of the world, but we had a meeting. So don't give in to that idea. So you can also suggest to them that technology can help address that issue of distance.
Please, can I speak?
Okay.
Yes, please.
Can I?
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Good evening,
Please.
everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Edwin. Yes, I said that I joined the meeting late. I was expecting that it is still tomorrow, as Madam told me yesterday. I've been listening to the contributions. First of all, I thank God for this Okobi initiative, and I thank Prof for this initiative. Let me get something clarified. In answering the question one of us raised, Prof was giving the impression that the focus should be the communities this time. So I want to understand whether we are not to maybe reach out to groups any longer. Because from the angle I started so far,
Engineer, you can see a video.
I've talked to some group this
You
evening. I
see a
talked to one
video,
of the
or
leaders of
can
my
the
community.
administrator stop the video so that your voice should be sufficient?
Okay, I've stopped the video. So what I'm saying is, my understanding was that maybe the focus should be both groups and communities, and whether we are not to focus on groups and just to focus on communities alone.
Okay, so I'll take that question. Yes,
Okay.
this is for communities. So the engagement of consultants is mainly for communities, and we are paying for that service. So we have hundreds of group businesses, but we don't have any community business. So Aicharoka focus woro eager to communities and preach Okobi to them so that we can have communities registered as Okobi and then actually starting Okobi businesses actively. So that is what we're discussing now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then the approach I used with one of the leaders of my community I spoke with today. I looked at the nature of my community. In my community, we have 5 villages, and also have the main president general, and then 4 other vice presidents from the other groups where the president general didn't come from. So now with that setting, I gave him the impression that it is either that the community has one general project, which I know will not be possible. Then I showed him the idea of assisting in the propagation of this initiative to the other community leaders who I still intend to speak to, so that come up with any business they will want to pursue. Then so that they can have the businesses in their own villages, while some other options, if there are the consideration is there, the entire community may still have 1 or 2 projects as a general one, but these villages will have anyone they are interested in. So this is the way I didn't just limit it to him that the entire community is going to have one project. And I think from the explanations I've gotten so far, I think that is in line. Then another person said something about the Okobi, that's the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor, introducing the project to the communities. And I buy that idea. Advertising it, making publications, so that when we now go to them, it will make the job easy for us. Then about the funding, the last person that spoke, I think Adeze also, said something in line with what my organization is already preaching initiative. We are involved in training. We expose people to opportunities around us or around them, and then train them in whichever areas they're interested in. Then we guide them to set up maybe their farms or their businesses. So another aspect of it is some of the local government chairmen we've talked to, and even community leaders, we've reached out for advocacies. We tell them that what we want is, while they bring out their people, or they mobilize their people for us to train, we know that most of these people may not have the funds to set up their businesses. So while mobilizing them for us to train, we encourage them to mobilize the well-to-dos in their communities, people that has the money, to mobilize them so that they brainstorm on how to probably set up trust funds or just whichever people that we are training, or what we are discussing now. You see that the possibility is still there that these community leaders will probably brainstorm with the people that have the money in their communities to see how they can raise funds to sponsor the projects we are talking about. So the first thing will be to encourage them to come up with any business they will want to pursue, which will now guide them with the technicalities to get those things, the businesses set up. Then the other option, the other problem will be, how do we fund this project? Now, this idea of encouraging them to mobilize funds from the communities through the people that has the money will now be an option. And then they can also consider other alternatives, like in a cooperative, we talk of selling shares. So in their own communities, ndị Igbo sị na so
okay, sir. I'm struggling to hear you. I don't know if other people can hear you.
How to raise the funds. There are alternatives we can as well offer, so that follow some of those alternatives and raise the money from themselves. So that even if the government.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Maybe the problem might be a network, because
yeah, so the network is really bad from your end.
Where I am. So I've almost concluded anyway. I've almost
but
concluded.
I don't know.
So
I couldn't hear you well. I don't know if other people, are hearing what you're saying, but I think most of what you have addressed from the little I was able to get, most of what you addressed are in line with what we're discussing. But there's one area where I think is not exactly how we're trying to present it. In communities, talking to the people that we believe can fund the businesses. I don't think that's so correct, because ours is just to talk to facilitators. In fact, already the JGOSEF, most of them are n'ụlọ. Ụfọdụ ndị ụmụ ha n'obodo oyibo, ụfọdụ ndị ụmụ ha nọ izu ije. They are not the people these presentations are going to be made to to the opinion leaders within the communities. They are maybe President General or leaders in the various autonomous communities. So these are the people the presentations will be made to. Also, how I was in the when these presentations are done, register the business plan, may agree on what to do, and the process of starting the business. Then how I was in there when it's in the and this is what the government has helped us to itemize so far. So also from that point, those people is not, they are not the ones the presentations will be made to, because most of them might not even be around or at home at the time these conversations will be taking place. And somebody just say, oh, agri businesses are delimited to. No, it is not. All depends on each community chọrọ ime. Ihe ọla ha chọrọ ime wụ ihe ha ga-eme. So that is also where it is left the consultants to discuss with them. Marakwana ihe ga-adịrị ha mma ime. May needs assessment. Lee ihe ha chọrọ, lekwana ka a ga-propose based on the peculiarity of their place and the environment and the people that may be the ones running the business on behalf of the communities. So that is in response to, I think, Engineer Victor's question. So I don't know if there's anything else to say or any contribution further from anybody, so that maybe we can conclude.
Okay, when you could make
Uh,
different communities, you get one community now. Then let's assume when I say when villages. So once you start this process, you got when other groups that might be showing interest. So we shouldn't stop them because it's also part of the sensitization or evangelization. So you can get there and hold some groups that say, okay, we want to do our own. Encourage them, let them do their own. They can engage you as their consultant if they want to. But we pay our payment will key the autonomous community. But when you go there or when you reach there and you see other opportunities, by all means follow those opportunities, explore them. Because now we are also trying to help you as consultants. Okay, what? So don't just go there and say, ask him in any community, any other person in Banyanaka, guess I got you because of who. So it's up to you. In we get there. Right? In we get there, who does if you want to charge them and help
yes.
them, it's up to you. But can you get work free autonomous community? But let's assume you get there, has now for autonomous community, multi village. Let them pay you to do that for them. But
Okay.
you shouldn't stop them from doing like this model if we're back now. If they want to do it at the village level or kindred level, it's up to them. You can do it for them and they pay you. If you want to charge them, or you can also do it not him a room free, you know. But can you go work in an autonomous community?
Okay, Prof. Imena. So, any other person with any further contribution to make or question to ask?
Yes, this one is. Can I speak? I just want to make a request.
Okay, just make it brief, sir.
Yes, I based on my chat with Prof the other time, there was something he suggested which I explored. I called the Venerable Dr. Paul Nwosu is affair, and whether they are trained or I don't know whether they've started businesses, but whether they've been trained. So he was actually delighted in working with us. But he said I needed to be properly introduced to them, that everything should be from your office. So I want that formal introduction to be made. I don't know whether he's in this meeting now. So that if he's not in the meeting, I will want the office to introduce me to him, so that when next I call him, he will now be familiar with me and whatever I'm going to discuss with him.
Okay, so Made, on a meeting now. Yes, so I'm
I don't know
very
if I'm clear.
Very clear, but on a meeting now at the moment because someone about the stock. So, but I know he will have access to the conversations here, or we can discuss and we update him on the discussions I want now. So bano, before it's not a problem. Thank you. Okay, the letter we'll do a letter. Yeah, here. Introduction, not borrow. So however he wants it, it's not a problem. We'll do that.
Okay. The elephant in the room, and notice no do when they see may mobilize or whatever. So at this, do you want to talk them through the process?
Okay, thank you, Prof. So Oteshicho Ikude Owo Gawo in 3 phases. The first one Gawo on identification of a community that you want to work with. You let the office know so that we can register the name of that community as a community that is now under training for Okobi business. Then that is when we are going to pay the first part of the money. The second part will be paid upon the identification of business, or let's say mba unu na ha mecha needs assessment, they put to her through the process and everything, and had interested in setting up a business plan for the business, we pay the second bit. Then the third one and the final payments will now be at the point of CAC registration. By enwetele register the business when means of funding, and the business is about to take off. So that's the last part of the payments again for these people. So at the end of it, it's assumed that at the end of the whole process, that means same when a registered, set up Okobi business at the end of the 3 phases. So how you're going to maybe draft your plan, your training plan, or your consultancy plan to now fit into this payment plan, all depends on how it's going to work for you and the peculiarity of the community you're working with. I don't know if we understand it or if we need more clarifications on that. Thank you.
Okay. When you want to do for any here this cool. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Ades. Ahunam ihe ndị ikwu, and onye ọbụla gere ntị ọfụma ka ahụ na prof onye jekwuleje na ndị community a ego na ha ga-support anyị for it. Ya ekwuchikwa ya so onye nwekwana individual groups ndị ọ chọrọ ka ha rie. Now, this money akwụ anyị in badges. Ebidono identification, M&M need assessment, the community have bought in. HME registers in. Onye ga-eweta ego eji register ndị na CAC ma cooperative society ka ha.
Okay, thank you for your question. Again, Timbo Prof no na-ekwu okwu earlier. I see that you are in discussions with Professor Jude to see how we can do a waiver for CAC registration for these communities. It's either the money will be paid, maybe subsidized, or we take care of that registration. But if we're going to take care of that registration, we will have to be certain that now that business is ready to start, because we don't want to have littered registrations without without businesses not ready to start up. So at the point of that registration, we're going to vet what the consultants have done and then register them, okay? But at that point, that business is ready to kick. Okay, that business in fact has started. So I hope this answers your question.
Thank you.
I get my community then we hang and spend. That's the idea. And we're saying it's free of charge to them. So we want to maintain that. So whatever it takes to get them to that point, we'll do. So, and Unogawa, if I give me one registration, so I won't actually make cooperative, I won't actually make CS, but we won't do 2 for them. Okay, what? So, but my preference was because CAC appears to have better prospect than cooperative. Like when you a Bank of Industry money now or Bank of Agriculture, they will value CAC more, CAC registration more than the other one. But it's up to them. Go on a hatch man. But we only pay one registration fee for them. So, but the process is quite clear. Then the other thing is that we are targeting about 100 communities. 100. So, only the 10 so far here. So, Jovita, how many consultants you could look at?
Yes, 10, and they all indicated interest. Yes, but we had 7 of them that joined us. The other 3 are not here.
So there is a possibility of doing 10 each. I'm going to say actually make 5. So again, it depends on you as a consultant, how many you think you can do. So, but we also looking at the workload. So I think we here an optimal number for you. You want to decide. So Jovita, I don't know if I'm saying the right things, but if you have alternative views.
Yes, you're on course. Yes.
Yeah, so only with like say 10 for a start. Now actually we do with 10. Only I went to 500,000 at that starting point because I think we say we want to pay 150 and it divided into 3. So you give out today now and when you convince in 5 communities signing up with for you to work with them. And then when the letter sorry, and then when the documentation we give you 250. They will take a milestone, maybe all of them at the same time. They want to go another 250 if you're working with 5 of them. We match up again to go 250. So you can get up to a maximum of 1.5 million or even more, depending on when we came at 95. Game is at 15. So it's up to you. So when you collaborate, it's also an option. So somebody can say, well, come on, I collaborate. It makes life easier for us. Instead of 91 person, they make 10. So no, 2, name 20 or 15. You are better off than just one person, which is again the spirit of Okobi. It's up to you guys to decide.
That's true. That's very true. I agree completely. Working in pairs would be more productive than doing alone. Okay, I was actually thinking, because if you go alone, if you go in pairs, you'll be taken more serious and you make more impact than going alone. So I want to suggest that we work in pairs. Okay, so we're going to reach out to ourselves and see how we can work in pairs. And just like the Bible says, 1 will kill 1,000, but 2 will kill 10,000. Thank you, sir, for that suggestion. I agree perfectly.
I also think, Prof, I also think there are other ways to work even beyond PEL. For instance, I said, okay, I get this. And I also, since Okobi is creating more jobs, and I have people within Amimo that have about 3 autonomous communities. And also let them know what I'm doing and share with them. Isn't that okay?
No, say that again. People don't know Amimo again. Amimo have 3 autonomous communities, for example. Yeah?
Ask them, there are other ways we can work in pairs. For instance, now, Amimo are like 3 autonomous communities. And I go into Amimo in the spirit of job creation. And I'm getting these 3 communities, for instance, at conclusion for 450,000. I can decide to take 100 and share the 50 with other people, telling them what I'm doing and to assist me do in other places.
Oh, yes, I mean, you can use it to create your own, empower, just other consultants, recruit consultants, because
And it's downlines.
imagine them with 655 communities. We're only supporting 100. Can we get the other 500? Do you understand? But Gijinka Muta build here, you guys get credential from this one. Go and prostrate for the other one. So, and if tomorrow the government wants to support the other communities, ready to do, you'll be ahead of others anyway. And beyond the 600 communities, like I said, if you go to Amimo 913 autonomous community, once you start speaking to the AZs about this, you begin to see villages in Amimo that say, or kindreds now say, okay, I want to. Before you know it, you may be handling like 20 groups in Amimo, but we are paying for 3. But then the other ones, you can charge whatever you want, as long as so all we are trying to do is to help you guys as consultants and create markets, legitimize what you are doing using state support. So because Yama government for H, these businesses will continue. And even this thing can go beyond. I'm not it can. It's already gone beyond the Imo State. And they ga far with it. So I think I'm when you want to do also. And Jovita, what will be the next steps? Okay, so that
Okay, so the next step will be to share the handbook so that they can read more. And there was something Choma suggested, like PowerPoint presentation. So I'm not sure that was addressed, but udere ihe ahụ ọ na-aga to communities, o ji awụ ihe a na-ekwu n'ọnụ. That is how I believe it will work better. It's one of PowerPoint. I don't know where you go with the projector.
No, Choma PowerPoint I got work Rugo.
So we had it on. And then if you build PowerPoint, well, they might not be as receptive. What they come again ahead to get ha feel free, feel at home with you. But the main thing is the points that you want to raise with them and how to address their questions. And then you already have our numbers, or you can even put a call across from there, and then we discuss it. So the next thing we'll had the handbook, and then if we have to do a letter introducing them as our consultants, or maybe the ID or something, so you can just present to them and identifying yourself as coming from the
letter can come at least somewhere.
Okay, fine. So that's okay. So that is what we have to do now, and then we get started. So, and if there are things
to July, first week na July. So that 24th, okay? So if we give them like this for the rest of this month, and everything. Just but then they sleep over it and say, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, I don't have the energy. So that be done in July. So we are saying before September. So like 3 months engagement. Okay. Yeah. July, August, September. So by October at least, most of these things are Gambian,
Okay, can we agree on a timeline to say, between now and a certain period would have at least achieved these milestones? Because I want to him perpetuity. Okay, Talasaga who went 3 stages. I want to phase 1 now, or in the next 3, 4, 5 months, phase 2. Is that what the plan is? What
no,
time?
No, 3 months. I can see between now and October.
Between now and October to finalize the 3 stages.
Yes. Or the aggressive.
It is aggressive, Prof.
Well, happy today with the money marathon. You can always review things.
Okay.
So you have the whole of July to identify on each unit. You have the whole of August to gonna have a business plan. No. You can do it. Oh, even when I ask where there is a way, there is a way. The only problem that won't be when they'll take your time to convince, and don't waste your time with those people. Just
with the consultant. So them even when it's coming to them, I got to get that. You say, but
no, but the when I see 255 communities, give them another one. Yeah, go 3 months.
No. I want 3 months. I want 3 months. They're ready.
Yeah, so work with those ones, and then I need to advert and you get to help them start talking to, because when one responds to that advert, it's likely to be easier to deal with than only a cold call in that sense. So here they can some of the communities are in a high Jovita.
Are you sure? Not touch it.
Yes, Prof.
Touch it. Are you sure?
If you're not talking, can you just put yourself on mute? Thank you.
Some of the communities are in a high so far. We can also prepare the list, share with them, like in Dimberi, in the Umakana. You can find out that in the Ebav or something, Homogoma or something like that. Then when
And my own
but-
village as well. Ebe
So when the ebe orodo or ifakala, those that so people are coming forward. Right? If we have like before you know it, ending with like 10, 15. Well, this advert again. And you can also start from the 10. You can start from your communities now. Autonomous communities, the bonus. So you can start from
Insecurity.
insecurity. That already security now. No security. Theater.
enwere ntị m ajọ kas Ọktoba enwene communities ndị nọmara na ihe well irue isi nwe eke irue ndị nwekwara part of ndị ebula anyị nọmara na ya ozi anaghị agbatụle ha ya na ntakịrị dịka groups and villages ọ na-iruo nga ahụ asị ihe anyị nọ ga kemgbe nna abịala ga conclude on time onye ahụ na-idiri emecha Ọktoba ma na-emecha.
No, not at all.
Low hanging fruit. Asking in the 3 stages, a cool timeline on at the stage.
Biko Jovita ma achọ ka ihe a na-ekwukwe na o jara mma the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Anyị nwere another opportunity now profiled by the Office of the Chief Economist to come together and brainstorm. Ọ gara mma ọ na-enata kwe nọmba ndị anyị amarakwanụ ndị ere ịhụ serious consultant ọ wee ebe room ahụ anyị juru so that we can also stay in one room and keep discussing. Onye ikpute from Umepune ya ka oke ya nga onye erikwana anyị enwekwana some na because otu anyị nọ nga onye ọbụla macha onye ọbụla but we can come together where we have a serious team. I've tried doing that but amatachabeghị m onye ọbụla so it creates we can also begin to manage it.
Okay, we're a group for consultants, but it's not everybody in that group that is
52 ahụ nwere 52 members ma ndị potrement amime onweghị ha what are they consulting not
That's true.
So I'm a creative for community. I'm a creating a new work for community. So
so that they can share ideas. They share their experiences.
Okay, no, not a problem.
Fabian,
their own is on course. So I'll hand it over to anybody that is
What location?
Obo no Kigwe zone Alike
Obo
Kawa Alike Obo.
Ndị nọ dị ga nwere ike kọwadebe ebe n'usi ka anyị lekere anya onye Mbaise nọ ya.
Fada onye Mbaise.
Okay, Fada, okay. Ele mbe ndị nọ nga si ka anyị nwegoro idea. Ka ebe ha chere ha ga-akọva.
Chami onye ebe. Ọrụ West, okay. Ọhịa ji na-ekwu insecurity. Cham Osi Ọrụ West.
Ọrụ West, I think anyị nwere insecurity challenges. Mana insecurity ka nkụ side anyị so side ahụ.
Anyway, I think the next step also is to maybe tell Jovita the areas they got cover. So that anywhere communities is about. But like you said, you can also put those communities now the WhatsApp group. That was the first come, first serve. They couldn't be back on the So Jovita, what else?
Nothing else except when anybody wanting final contribution or final comments, but pretty much we're done.
Okay,
Just
Adeze.
No, nothing from me. I think we've had a very good evening.
Okay, Adeze Shaheme. I hope you have with us.
Everything went very well. I concur with all the suggestions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our consultant.
Thank you, Ada.
nothing much from us. Prof, thank you so much.
Unu na ji anyị ụgwọ. Akwa ya? We're counting on you, but not
Okay.
there to support you. So
Just let's get the letter and then let's take it off from there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll create the WhatsApp group this evening, so you'll all find yourselves there.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Unemela.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.